The mind's uninvited guest. Jung, synchronicity, and the secret language of our recurring thoughts. Have you ever experienced the persistent intrusion of a particular person into your mental landscape? They linger in your thoughts, unbidden and seemingly without reason. Ever wonder why that one person keeps living rent-free in your mind, whether it's an ex, a crush, or even someone you barely know? It's like they've set up a permanent residence in your thoughts. No eviction notice, no explanation, just constant mental cameos that you didn't sign up for. This persistent presence can be both perplexing and frustrating, a nagging distraction that disrupts our focus and consumes our mental energy. We may find ourselves obsessing over their actions, analyzing their motives, and replaying past interactions in our minds, all in an attempt to understand their significance in our lives. But what if this mental preoccupation wasn't simply a random quirk of our minds? What if it held a deeper meaning, a hidden message waiting to be deciphered? Well, it turns out that this isn't just some random glitch in your brain's operating system. Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, believed that when someone lingers in your thoughts, it's no accident. Jung's insights into the human psyche offer a powerful framework for understanding these recurring thoughts, suggesting that they may be far more than just random mental noise. Jung viewed the mind as a complex and dynamic system, a vast landscape teeming with archetypes, symbols, and unconscious forces. He believed that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors were all interconnected, reflecting the underlying patterns and processes of our psyche. In fact, it might be one of the biggest clues to understanding yourself. This essay will embark on a journey into the depths of Jungian psychology, exploring the concepts of the shadow, anima and animus, projection, and synchronicity, in an effort to understand the hidden meaning behind our recurring thoughts. So what's really going on here? Is it love, obsession, or maybe something deeper that even you aren't aware of? By examining these concepts, we can gain valuable insights into our own inner world, uncovering hidden aspects of our personality, resolving unresolved conflicts, and ultimately, achieving greater self-awareness and personal growth. The insights we learn may just see that person in a whole new light, or maybe you'll realize it's not even about them at all. The people who occupy our thoughts, whether we admire or despise them, often serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves that we may not fully recognize or understand. They can trigger unresolved emotions, challenge our beliefs, and force us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into the wild world of Jung's theories, the shadow anima and animus projection, and the mysterious force of synchronicity. It's a journey into the depths of the human psyche, a quest for self-discovery that will challenge your assumptions and transform your understanding of love, relationships, and the nature of reality itself. The exploration begins with an examination of Jung's core beliefs about the nature of the human mind, the labyrinth within, unlocking the secrets of the unconscious mind. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." He believed that the human mind is like a labyrinth with hidden passageways leading to treasures of self-discovery. This quote encapsulates Jung's central belief that true knowledge and fulfillment come not from external pursuits, but from the exploration of our inner world. He believed that the human mind is like a labyrinth with hidden passageways leading to treasures of self-discovery, but most of us never venture into these dark corners. Instead, we stay on the surface busy with daily life, while our unconscious mind is quietly working overtime. Jung argued that the unconscious mind is a vast and powerful realm, containing not only our repressed memories and emotions, but also a wealth of untapped potential and wisdom. The idea is that when someone constantly appears in your thoughts, young people believe it's not just a coincidence, it's a wake-up call from the unconscious. These intrusions are not random occurrences, but rather meaningful signals, urging us to pay attention to something that needs our attention. Picture your mind as an iceberg. The tip is everything you're aware of your thoughts, feelings, and memories, but the massive unseen chunk below the waterline, that's your unconscious. And guess where most of the action happens? Right down there. That's where your repressed desires, unresolved emotions and hidden fears are hanging out. The vast majority of our mental activity occurs beneath the surface of conscious awareness, shaping our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors in ways that we may not fully understand. It's a realm of archetypes, symbols, and hidden patterns, a landscape waiting to be explored. So when someone keeps resurfacing in your mind, it's often because they've triggered something buried deep in that unconscious realm. Think about it. Maybe they said something that resonated with an old memory, or maybe they embody something you wish you could be. According to Jung, these aren't accidents, they're signals. When someone triggers a buried emotion or desire, they can become a persistent presence in our thoughts, a reminder of something that needs to be addressed or integrated into our conscious awareness. These aren't accidents. They're signals pointing us towards hidden aspects of ourselves. But don't worry, it doesn't mean you're doomed to be haunted by them forever. It just means it's time to pay attention to what your mind is trying to tell you. While recurring thoughts can be unsettling, they also offer an opportunity for profound self-discovery and personal growth. By paying attention to these signals, we can unlock hidden aspects of our personality, resolve unresolved conflicts, and ultimately achieve greater self-awareness and fulfillment. The key is to approach these thoughts with curiosity and openness, recognizing that they may hold valuable insights into our inner world. This exploration begins with an examination of Jung's concept of the shadow, the shadow's embrace, integrating our darker selves for wholeness. Meet your shadow. No, it's not the thing you see on the sidewalk. It's the part of your psyche that you'd rather not acknowledge. Jung describes the shadow as everything about yourself that you've repressed, denied, or ignored because it doesn't fit your ideal self-image. This concept, while often unsettling, is essential for understanding the complexities of the human psyche. The shadow encompasses all the traits, emotions, and behaviors that we deem unacceptable or undesirable, those aspects of ourselves that we try to hide from the world and even from ourselves. It includes our negative emotions, such as anger, jealousy, and shame, as well as our repressed desires, unacknowledged weaknesses, and rejected aspects of our personality. The shadow is not inherently evil or destructive. It is simply the part of ourselves that we have disowned or denied. And here's where it gets interesting. The people who stick in your mind might be your shadow in disguise. Let's say you admire someone's confidence, but deep down you struggle with self-doubt, or maybe you're drawn to their creativity because you've neglected your own. On the flip side, someone might annoy you to no end because they embody traits you refuse to admit you have, like arrogance or impulsiveness. We are often drawn to or repelled by others because they embody aspects of our own shadow self. The qualities we admire in others may reflect our own unacknowledged strengths or desires, while the traits we dislike may mirror our own hidden weaknesses or fears. The idea is that our relationships with others are often mirrors of our relationships with ourselves. When someone occupies your thoughts, they might represent a piece of your shadow begging for attention. It's like your unconscious is saying, hey, remember me, we need to talk. Our external relationships often reflect our internal dynamics, providing us with valuable insights into our own inner world. When someone triggers a strong emotional response in us, it is often because they're reflecting back to us something that we need to acknowledge or integrate into our conscious awareness. Recognizing this can be powerful. Instead of obsessing over why you're thinking about them, you can start asking, what part of me are they reflecting, and how can I grow from this? By shifting our focus from the other person to ourselves, we can begin to understand the hidden messages that our recurring thoughts are trying to convey. The shadow isn't something to fear, it's something to explore, because as Jung wisely noted, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The process of integrating the shadow is not about eliminating our negative traits or becoming perfect. It is about accepting all aspects of ourselves, both the light and the dark, and recognizing that they are all part of a unified whole. By acknowledging and integrating our shadow, we can become more authentic, more compassionate, and more fully ourselves. We can reclaim our disowned strengths, heal our wounded emotions, and live a more integrated and fulfilling life. The next stage involves the anima and animus, the inner relationship, the inner beloved, exploring the anima and animus archetypes. Now let's talk about two of Jung's most intriguing concepts, the anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects of our psyche, and they play a huge role in how we relate to others. These concepts, while often misunderstood, offer a valuable framework for understanding the dynamics of attraction and relationships. The anima represents the feminine side of the male psyche, encompassing traits such as intuition, emotion, and receptivity, while the animus represents the masculine side of the female psyche, encompassing traits such as logic, assertiveness, and independence. But don't get too caught up in gender. These are symbolic representations that everyone has regardless of identity. It is important to remember that the anima and animus are not simply about gender. They're about the inherent duality that exists within all of us. So what does this have to do with someone living in your head tree? Well, according to Jung, when you're fixated on someone, it's because they resonate with your anima or animus. When we are drawn to someone, it is often because they embody qualities that are complementary to our own, qualities that we may lack or that we may be seeking to develop within ourselves. Maybe they align with your subconscious ideal of a partner, or they bring out qualities in you that you're not fully aware of. For instance, you might be drawn to their emotional depth because it mirrors something you're craving in your own life. When someone embodies qualities that resonate with our anima or animus, they can become a powerful source of attraction, a symbol of our own potential for wholeness. It is not just about attraction. Sometimes the anima or animus can create illusions. You might project an idealized image onto someone, seeing them not as they are, but as your unconscious wants them to be, and that can lead to some pretty confusing feelings. The anima and animus can also lead to projection and idealization, where we project our own unfulfilled desires and expectations onto others, seeing them not as they are, but as we want them to be. Understanding this dynamic can be a game changer. It shifts the focus from why am I obsessed with them to what part of me are they awakening. It's a reminder that the people who occupy our thoughts often reflect the most intimate parts of ourselves. This requires a shift in focus from the other person to ourselves, asking what qualities are they embodying and how can we cultivate those qualities within ourselves. The ability to create a strong dynamic with oneself opens doors to an intimate relationship. This exploration leads into the concept of projection, the projective screen, recognizing our unconscious disavowals in others. Here's where things get really wild. Jung believed that much of what we feel about others has little to do with them and everything to do with us. This phenomenon is called projection. This concept, while often difficult to grasp, is essential for understanding the complexities of human relationships. Projection is the unconscious act of attributing our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations to others, often without realizing that we are doing so. Think of it like a mental movie theater. You take your thoughts, desires, and fears and project them onto another person as if they're the star of the show. We use others as a screen onto which we project our own inner world, seeing them not as they truly are, but as a reflection of our own unacknowledged desires and fears. Let's break it down. Imagine you admire someone for their ambition and reality. This might be a quality you wish you had more of, or a quality you already possess but haven't fully acknowledged. Or maybe you dislike someone because they remind you of something you fear about yourself, like being overly critical or emotionally distant. Projection is a pervasive phenomenon, shaping our perceptions of others in countless ways. We may admire someone for their confidence, projecting our own unfulfilled desire for self-assurance onto them. Or we may dislike someone because they remind us of our own unacknowledged weaknesses, projecting our own self-criticism onto them. Whatever it is, your unconscious is using them as a screen to project parts of your psyche that need attention. Projection serves as a defense mechanism, allowing us to avoid confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves by attributing those traits to others. Now here's the tricky part. Because projection feels so real, it's easy to mistake these feelings for facts. You might think they're amazing or they're terrible without realizing you're actually talking about yourself. Because it is easier to blame someone else when you are unsure of yourself. Projecting is all a way for the psyche to not be at risk. Jung saw this as a major opportunity for growth. When you catch yourself obsessing over someone good or bad, stop and ask, what am I really seeing here? What does this say about me? By owning your projections, you can reclaim those parts of yourself and stop giving other people so much power over your thoughts. By recognizing that our feelings towards others may be projections, we can begin to reclaim those aspects of ourselves that we have disowned or denied. It's not easy, but as Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. It's a journey of self-discovery that requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. By owning our projections, we can reclaim our power, release ourselves from the grip of unconscious patterns, and build more authentic and fulfilling relationships. Now it's time to understand what synchronicity means. The universe's wink, finding meaning in the mysterious force of synchronicity. Have you ever thought about someone only to have them text you moments later? Or maybe you've been thinking about them for weeks, and then you bump into them in the most unexpected place. It's like the universe is winking at you or playing tricks. Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity or meaningful coincidences, and he believed it was no accident. Synchronicity refers to meaningful coincidences that seem to defy the laws of chance, events that are connected not by cause and effect, but by a deeper, underlying meaning. These experiences can feel like a sign from the universe, a nudge in a particular direction, or a confirmation that we are on the right path. Jung defines synchronicity as events that are connected not by cause and effect, but by meaning. In other words, when your thoughts and external events align in a way that feels significant, it's a sign that something deeper is at work. Maybe your unconscious is so focused on this person that it's influencing your perception of reality, or maybe there's a larger unseen force at play linking your inner world with the outer one. These aligning events may be influencing the perception of reality or the connection from a larger source. The synchronicity moments have this impact and ability. But here's the kicker: synchronicity isn't just about random chance answers. Jung believed it's a call to action, a moment to reflect on why this person is showing up in your life and what you're supposed to learn from it. Synchronicity is not simply about chance. It is about meaning, purpose, and the interconnectedness of all things. Are they triggering an unresolved emotion, representing a path you're afraid to take? Or maybe they're just here to remind you of your own power, to create meaning. The next time something synchronistic happens, don't just shrug it off as coincidence. Take it as a nudge from the universe or your unconscious to dig deeper. After all, Jung said synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. Meaning it's up to us to take into account if that synchronicity is real or not, to be careful about it. But when that occurs, and if not paid attention to, can have a deeper influence in your unconscious. After all, it's a way to connect and to explore further, but with no rush, and be mindful of the meaning. Let's examine how to decode the thoughts. Decoding the unconscious, a practical guide to self-awareness and growth. So now that we've unpacked the theories, you're probably wondering, what can you actually do about someone who won't leave your thoughts? Jung's ideas aren't just fascinating, they're practical tools for self-awareness and growth. Here are 3 steps to decode what your mind is really trying to tell you. It's about turning abstract concepts into concrete actions, transforming recurring thoughts from a source of frustration into a catalyst for personal transformation. Decoding thoughts is a way to access growth and self-awareness with practice. Step 1, reflect. Start by asking yourself, what emotions come up when I think about this person? Are you inspired by their confidence, frustrated by their aloofness, drawn to their sense of adventure? Pinpointing your feelings is the first step to understanding what they represent. This step requires honesty, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. It means setting aside judgment and simply observing your emotional responses to the other person. Step 2, analyze. Dig deeper into what those feelings mean. For example, if you admire their creativity, it might be because you're craving more of that in your own life. Or if their rejection stings, it could be highlighting an old wound around self-worth. Try journaling or meditating on these questions to get to the heart of the matter. It means asking yourself, what qualities are they embodying, and how can you cultivate those qualities within yourself? What unresolved emotions are they triggering, and how can you heal those wounds? What fears are they exposing, and how can you overcome them? Step 3. Act. Use these insights to grow. Maybe it's time to work on building confidence, embracing your creative side, or healing old emotional scars. Remember, this isn't about changing the other person, it's about transforming yourself. The goal is not to change the other person or to force them to meet your needs. It is about transforming yourself, healing your wounds, and becoming more fully yourself. By decoding your thoughts, you can turn an obsessive mental loop into a roadmap for personal growth. As Jung wisely said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. When you embrace your journey, you will realize the change and transformation is already there. So don't let your thoughts control you. Take the reins and uncover what your mind is really trying to tell you. Our minds are like treasure maps, with every thought and emotion leading us closer to understanding who we truly are. When someone keeps living rent-free in your head, don't ignore it. See it as an invitation to explore the depths of your unconscious and unlock parts of yourself you didn't even know were there. Because in the end, it's not just about them. It's about you. The people who linger in our thoughts are often the keys to our own growth. So take a deep breath, dive in, and discover what your mind has been trying to tell you all along. By decoding your thoughts, you can unlock hidden aspects of your personality, resolve unresolved conflicts, and ultimately achieve greater self-awareness and fulfillment. With courage to face all of you, the keys to growth are ready to be shown and discovered. Summary of key takeaways. Recurring thoughts are signals. Recognize that recurring thoughts are not random, but meaningful signals from your unconscious mind. The shadow is a mirror. Understand that the people who trigger strong emotions in you often reflect aspects of your own shadow self. Anima and animus reveal inner needs. Identify the qualities you admire in others and cultivate those qualities within yourself. Projection is a disguise. Own your projections and recognize that your feelings about others may be more about you than them. Synchronicity is a nudge. Pay attention to synchronicities and use them as a guide for self-discovery. Decoding thoughts leads to growth. Reflect on your emotions, analyze their meaning, and take action to transform yourself. Conclusion. The journey inward, the path to wholeness, and the transforming power of self-awareness. The persistent presence of a particular person in our thoughts is not simply a random occurrence, but rather a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, shaped by the intricate workings of the human psyche. By embracing the insights of Jungian psychology, we can transform these recurring thoughts from a source of frustration into a catalyst for profound self-discovery and personal growth. It is not just about them, it's about you. The people who linger in our thoughts are often the keys to our own growth. So take a deep breath, dive in, and discover what your mind has been trying to tell you all along. The ultimate goal is not to change the other person or to force them to meet our needs, but to transform ourselves, heal our wounds, and become more fully ourselves. This requires courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves. It means embracing our shadow, integrating our anima and animus, and owning our projections. It means paying attention to the synchronicities in our lives and using them as a guide for our journey. By embracing the complexities of our inner world, we can unlock our full potential, build more authentic relationships, and live a life of greater meaning and fulfillment. The exploration and understanding of these uninvited guests in the mind is an adventure. It needs a deep journey and also with the power of knowing about it. It will enable growth and open doors to be the best version of what we are meant to be. So now dive in and good luck on that amazing path. And remember, the most important of all, everything is about you.